I toured the Michigan State Capitol, and in this short video, I'm going to show you the inside and outside of the Capitol. This was my 16th Capitol building visit of my plan to visit all 50, and on this trip, I was accompanied by my wife, who, after completing this trip, swore off going to any other Capitol building visit with me. Crazy, right? I mean, who doesn't want to fly around the country to look at 100-year-old buildings that represents the seats of each state's government? I guess it's her loss. Anyway, my day started with a flight to Detroit from Atlanta and then a quick flight from Detroit to Lansing. In retrospect, since I was visiting friends in the Detroit area after my Capitol visit, I probably should have picked up a rental car and driven to the Capitol from Detroit since it was only about an hour's drive away from the airport. But I didn't, so I got a chance to see the inside of Lansing's airport. The Lansing airport is relatively small, much like Helena, Montana and Juneau, Alaska's airports. I only saw 9 gates and it only took about 5 minutes to walk to the rental car and bag counter after arriving at the airport. After picking up my rental car, I immediately drove through downtown Lansing towards the Capitol. The population of Lansing, Michigan, according to the 2021 census, is around 112,000 people, which makes it 6 times less populous than Detroit, Michigan, Michigan's largest city. Eventually, we made it to West Michigan Avenue and the Capitol appeared among Michigan's blue skyline. After finding a place to park, I took a few minutes to marvel at the well-landscaped Capitol grounds and the memorials that were spaced among different areas of the Capitol grounds, including the Multi-War Memorial and the Austin Blair Memorial in front of the Capitol off South Capitol Avenue. After taking my customary exterior selfie, I made my way inside of the building. As a fun fact, Detroit, Michigan was actually Michigan's first Capitol in 1837 and held the location of Michigan's first Capitol building. Unfortunately, Detroit was only the capital for 10 years. Lansing Township, then called Michigan, Michigan, was selected as Michigan's capital in 1847, and its second Capitol building was constructed there in 1848. The Capitol that stands now will be Michigan's third Capitol, and it was dedicated in 1879, more than 30 years after the second Capitol's construction. More than 100 years later, in 1989, the Capitol began its first major restoration that was completed in 1992. But despite that restoration, I found out during this trip that the Capitol was going through another restoration project. In June 2023, scaffolding was built on the first floor of the Rotunda that reaches all the way up to the top of the dome. This was done so that workers can replace the fire suppression systems, install UV protection film on the windows, and repaint the 100,000 square feet of art on the dome's ceiling. So, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to record any good video footage of the dome or get my customary dome selfie. The crazy thing is, I didn't see any mention of the restoration project on Michigan's State Capitol's website. This also happened to me when I visited Oregon's state capitol, but at least the Oregon State Capitol's website alerted visitors of their multi-year restoration. Like with Oregon, since I didn't get an official Rotunda selfie, I guess I'll have to add Michigan to my list of capitals to visit again sometime in the future. Oh well. I used the ground floor's public entrance on the north side of the front of the building to start my tour. The ground floor isn't really a tourist attraction though. It's where you can find some House and Senate legislator offices and a back entrance to the building's latest addition, its Heritage Hall. The Heritage Hall is a visitors center whose construction started in 2020 and was completed in 2022. It includes orientation rooms, staterooms, and atriums where events are hosted, and an exhibit ramp that includes over 200 artifacts. The Heritage Hall is also where you must go to sign up for official building tours. One thing that stands out on this floor is the glass ceiling in the middle of the ground floor. It's the underside of the floor for the rotunda, but it was difficult to capture because of the scaffolding reinforcements constructed under it. Next is the first floor. The first floor should have been the most exciting floor to visit since it provides a view of the glass rotunda floor and the painted musings in and around the inner dome's ceiling. But the scaffolding obstructed the view, so on this floor, I only got a chance to view the locked offices of the legislators who still hold offices in the building. The second floor is where the Senate and House chambers are located, as well as the governor's office and parlor. The governor's office and parlor rooms were locked, but I'm sure I could have seen the inside had I signed up for an official tour. I didn't. Today, the governors don't use the office in the Capitol as a working office. Their working office is located in another building close by. So, governors use the governor's office and parlor primarily for special occasions such as bill signing ceremonies. In the lobby outside the governor's office, you'll find one of 20 cast metal chandeliers that light the hallways. They feature an elk and shield design inspired by the state's coat of arms, and although they are now all electric, they were originally lit by gas. Also on the second floor, you'll find the entrances to the Senate and House chambers. The House chamber is located in the north wing, and the Senate chamber is located in the south wing. The Michigan State Senate has 38 representatives, and the Michigan House of Representatives has 110 representatives that represent the people of Michigan. If you look closely at the walls in the front of the chambers, on the left and right sides, you can see the electronic message boards that were designed to blend in with the walls. The message boards are the electronic displays for the votes that are cast by each representative. Last on this floor, on the rotunda's circular walls, you'll see the beginnings of the Gallery of Governors, which includes portraits of former Michigan governors. Many of the state capitals I visited have a Gallery of Governors. Because Michigan only has room for 14 portraits in their Rotunda gallery, they include the most recent chronological order of governors' portraits on this floor, followed by older governors' portraits on the third floor. Once they run out of room, they'll begin moving the oldest governors' portraits to other locations throughout the Capitol. On the third floor, the Gallery of Governors continue. Again, the scaffolding interfered with my view of these portraits. But as you move away from the Rotunda area, you'll find entrances to the Senate and House public viewing galleries. From both galleries, you'll get a better view of their respective chamber floor below and their coffered ceilings above. Both the Senate and House galleries have each of the United States state coat of arms painted in their coffered ceilings. You'll also find the old Supreme Court chamber on this floor. The Michigan Supreme Court left the state capitol in 1970, and now the room is used by the Senate Appropriations Committee. This room has the room with the highest ceilings in the Capitol, not including the Rotunda. Since the originals were discarded long ago, the chandeliers and carpeting in this room were replicated from historic photographs. The fourth floor was a dead end. If the scaffolding wasn't up, it would have provided a great view of the eye of the dome. But as I stated earlier, pretty much all of the dome was concealed, so I'll have to return to the Capitol again for a good view and my interior Rotunda selfie. And that's that, the Michigan State Capitol. There's a lot of detail that I didn't cover in this video, so hopefully you'll have a chance to visit the building yourself, preferably after they're done with the Rotunda's restoration. Until then, you can check out the Michigan State's Capitol Commission's YouTube channel. It has great videos that include way more details about the Capitol, its history, and other interesting tidbits, including a special behind-the-scenes look at the interior and exterior of the dome. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button for me so others who may be interested in Capitol tours can find it. My next Capitol tour should be a bit more exciting because it'll be in Honolulu, Hawaii. And instead of just recording a Capitol tour visit, I'll see if I can work in a few other surprises, such as a travel with me video in a Diamond Head Crater POV hike. We'll see. So if you're interested in seeing those videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you'll see them pop up in your feed once I release them. Until then, always remember, be safe and go travel. You have everywhere to go see.